Hey guys, gals, and others, it's the Cannabis Crone. Happy almost spring. The spring equinox is right around the corner, and I hope everyone is enjoying this weather reprieve. It's really nice. I think it's close to 40. I haven't checked, but it definitely feels wonderful. I can almost visualize all these Siberian pea bushes full of bumblebees and butterflies, and my outdoor living room, I'll be taking naps in it again, and my birds are back to the feeder. Just kind of a really miraculous season of rebirth, just when we think things can't get any deader, and then whoosh, suddenly the warm air comes in and we realize that winter's almost over. So ears still get a little bit chilly though. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick mini pod. So on Facebook withdrawal, I have none anymore. I have no desire to go back to that social media platform. In fact, the only one I'm on now is YouTube, and I'll stay on YouTube for a while, but I don't even know how long I'll keep this up. Facebook has taken on a dreamlike quality in my mind. It's almost like it's well, it's almost like it's because it's the non-reality has actually set in, where I'm looking back and thinking those relationships, the Facebook relationships, weren't real, you know. So it's it hasn't been that hard, you know, that whole fear of missing out. But then when you go back on and you see that it's just, you know, it's gone from, if you have not noticed, the oligarchs like to give us scapegoats. And for the longest time, all we heard was how this was a pandemic of the unvaccinated, which, by the way, if anyone wants to apologize to me, you can do so in the comments below. Any of those so-called friends who called me a conspiracy theorist, who told me that I should be put into isolation if I choose not to get a vaccination, because the CDC director just came out about a week and a half ago, and she admitted that natural immunity is actually more effective than the vaccine. So basically, in a nutshell, if you've already had COVID, vaccines weren't really necessary for you, and yet we had the mandates, yet we had people, and I happen to know one personally, who almost lost her job had she not gotten a vaccine. And she was dead set against it, but she had no choice. I think that is beyond the pale. So now we've gone, suddenly there's nothing about COVID. Suddenly COVID's over. Isn't that funny? It's over just in time for the war between Russia and Ukraine. And now we have all of that propaganda that's bombarding. I'm glad I'm not on Facebook for that. I just could not stand to see any more stupidity. And it's so disheartening when you have people that you thought were intelligent people towing the one-party line, the propaganda, corporate America's agenda. So anyway, that's why I'm very glad I'm not going to be on Facebook for the election. That's going to be, that'll be wonderful. That's something I did not want to do. So it's going well. I'm really liking my new job a lot. It fits my neurodivergent personality. I'm driving most of the time. I don't have a lot of interaction with other people, which is awesome. And my misophonia, which is a sound disorder that sometimes accompanies autism and neurodivergence. I have it in spades, in gangbusters. Certain noises set me off, trigger me, and I can hear a lot of noises that other people can't hear, like, very faint squeaks and stuff. So it makes me effective in driving these prototypes and saying, well, I heard a rubbing, a metal rubbing over here in the corner between where the window meets the, windshield, and it's effective for my job. It works. So that's pretty cool, and I'm making money again, which is cool. But I'm also going to take a lot of time off in the summertime because the money is not as important as my health and being able to summer. Because you see, right now, it seems like it's a long way away from summer, but a couple months it'll be here. And we don't have a lot of summer in northern Minnesota, but what we do have, we cherish the hell out of. So I plan on cherishing my summer this summer. My partner Kai is fixing up the boat, so hopefully we'll be able to get out on the lake and get Mr. Dude out on the lake. Maybe we'll do instead of a walking with Dude, a boating with Dude. A couple of those. And yeah, so basically I'm hunkering down. I have a new podcast that's going to be coming up about not only cannabis healing but psilocybin. There's some really neat studies out now about psilocybin being microdosing with psilocybin, which of course is shrooms. And but when you microdose, you don't have a big enough dose so that you have the psychedelic effects. You just have the medicinal effects when you microdose on a daily basis. And there's been some really great things coming out about psilocybin in the treatment of some mental disorders and also autoimmune disorders. So that's really exciting. That's another natural homeopathic medicine that you can actually grow yourself. And of course it's illegal, but fuck it. Everything is. As we get more of our rights taken away, we're going to find that we're going to have to demand them back. And sometimes it's going to be at the price of being on the wrong side of the law. And I'm okay with that. So, there's a lot of stuff that, now it's basically, you can't talk about Russia anywhere. You can't bring attention to the fact that, Ukraine's main military are neo-Nazis. Admittedly, they're wide open about it. You can't, and you can't talk about the fact that most Americans don't know the history between Russia and Ukraine, or even the history of the USSR in general, and what a lot of the responsibility of the non-cohesion between Russia and Ukraine has been manufactured by the U.S. government. So there's a lot that people need to realize and research and learn. Don't forget, research is not a bad word, not a dirty word. Research is basically what's going to keep us from being duped again and again and again by corporate America. So, just a quick Minipod to check in, and the next podcast probably will be out next week, and that will be all about psilocybin and cannabis healing and how it might be able to help you. And I'll post some studies and links and all that good stuff so that you can follow the rabbit hole on your own and hopefully have a strong hand in your own healing. Cannabis healing is good healing, and so is psilocybin healing. So join me next week. Until then, have a beautiful rest of your week and weekend. Get out if you can and enjoy these last vestiges. There's something very magical about the transition of winter into spring. It's very sacred, and many people get to this point in March, in the beginning of April, and In Minnesota, sometimes you can have a few snowstorms. A few more snowstorms we might be in for. Maybe a freeze or two. And of course, everything's always muddy. And I mean, our driveway is no exception when this stuff starts melting. But there's still something very magical about that desolation, that space between winter and spring, that transition that sometimes can take quite a while and sometimes is amazingly immediate. So enjoy the transition. We're kind of going from life, or from death to life, from a sleep state to a wake state, and it's a very, very sacred time. So use it to kind of be introspective and decide what you want to do this summer. Be joyful. Find your joy. And if that means taking time off from work, fuck it. Take time off from work. If you're given vacation, goddamn it, use it. Use it or lose it. And believe me, what I regret most about working for corporate radio, for Hubbard Radio for 12 years, is that I didn't take advantage of my sick days or my vacation time. You better believe I'll be doing it now. And this summer is going to be a good summer, and I'm going to take a lot of time off and enjoy being with my family and my surrounding environment. So have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll be talking to you next week. Namaste. Enjoy the weather. It's still very high. There's still like this much snow, so it's hard to get up and down out of the lawn chairs. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da